Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for Grow My Bag TV, and I want to start off with a huge thank you. Today is our 2-year anniversary of actually having this channel. This is how we all got started. 2 years ago today, we actually put our plan into action. My kids, friends were like, you need to start a channel, you need to start speaking with people, you need to start sharing what you've got. And so I did 2 years ago. In that 2 years, I've seen a lot of ups, a lot of downs. Thankfully, the ups outweigh the downs. We've picked up almost 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. We had almost 2,000 subscribers on TikTok until we got kicked off. And we will not be back. I refuse to actually go back to TikTok, period. Scammers made it so that they were able to steal content, act as if they were me, right? Have people go over to Telegram buying things, buying educational. I don't do that. I'm not on Telegram. So that was the first hint. I reached out to TikTok. They would not do anything about it. They instead took down my account. They took down the other person's account. And I'm like, why would you take down my account when you can see that I posted my videos before they did? I had proof with email addresses, domains, and not just regular domains, but Web3 domains. We own them. And so we got kicked off. That was the bad news. Everything else was stupendous. The interactions that we're getting from the public, the tips on getting better, the kudos for doing a good job thus far really puts wind in my sails to actually keep going. And thank you so much. Huge thank you. We've got more coming. People have been asking me why we have our own platform called growmybag.tv. The reason why is because when I interact with people on YouTube and other social media platforms, there's not a strong enough bond, right? And so, especially on YouTube, I think we get the most interactions on YouTube. And all of my friends on YouTube, when they have a contrary opinion to what I've said, and they want to share charts, they can't. They can only do text. On our platform, you can share charts. On our platform, it's harder for scammers to be involved. Why? Because we actually charge you $1 a month. It's a very low number, but it helps scammers. It helps us keep scammers off, because most scammers aren't willing to pay the $12 a year. And for that, we said, we know it's going to be hard to grow a community, in that kind of way, because we're charging money. But what do you get? What do you get for that $12? You're getting 20 plus articles a day. You're getting my videos. You're getting interactions. You're getting a social media platform. You're getting so much more. And creators have been asking me, what do I get? Yes, obviously we charge creators, but creators get an environment where they'd be able to also say, hey, we're in an environment that has far more real people. We reach far more real people on this platform, as opposed to other platforms with like TT, where the greater percentage of people on that platform are not real. And those platforms have transformed into sell, right? The content that you're viewing, you don't notice that you're seeing more embedded, ad placements, more embedded ideas on, I'm selling this new shampoo, but I'm not really saying I'm showing this new shampoo. I'm just constantly showing you the logo. I have nothing against that, but that's not the content that we're here about. We're here to build a community that says we're all invested in, investment. We're all invested in, growing our bags, which is growing our businesses, learning how to market better, learning how to make our money work for us, things like that. The other thing that I love about this is that the people that have come to me, the people that have interacted with me across all platforms, have each brought me something. They've each said, Eddie, I like what you're saying. I like what you're doing. I disagree with this. Or, to your point, how about this? It's been awesome. I told you about how somebody introduced me to Scale, somebody introduced me to Star, somebody introduced me to Injective. So many people have introduced me to new coins that were not on my radar. Just the other day, somebody introduced me to ICP. I had done research on ICP before and wrote it off. Why? Because it's not decentralized enough for me. It's still not decentralized enough for me, but I wrote it off. I completely wrote it off. This person brought it back to the forefront of my brain. I like what they're doing, but they're still not quite decentralized enough for me to get into. So I chose not to, right? But now they're on my radar. I'm still watching. Now I'm actually paying attention to what they're doing. This is the community that I want to build. That's what we're building at growmybag.tv, because we want people that are interactive, learning from and teaching each other how to make our money work for us. I own businesses, other people own businesses. Imagine building a community where you've built a rapport with somebody and you say, you know what? This person might be interested in something that I'm doing, or I'm interested in something that they're doing, and I want to see if I can get involved. I'm just saying, like, I'm a principal member of the Metaverse Standards Forum. That's actually how I found them. That's how I got involved. I saw somebody else doing something and I was like, oh my God, I'm so interested in that, and got involved. That's what it's all about. But we've got news. Grayscale removed Polygon from their digital large cap fund. And that's actually huge, right? And why did they remove them? They removed them to get the money to add XRP and Avalanche. That's very interesting to me. Now, and that, if you notice, that's possibly what caused a big dip in Polygon. For me, I'm like, I have no issues with that. Polygon is strong enough to stand on its own, and it has. Time and time again, you're watching Polygon do great things. You're watching, different layer twos, different projects, different dApps, different projects, DeFi grow on Polygon, right? So I'm not worried about that. I just found it interesting that they replaced Polygon with Avalanche and XRP. XRP is not going in the direction of, retail use. They're going in the direction of commercial, institutional use. Just read the news that I've been delivering. That's what they're all about. So I found that to be interesting. Adding Avalanche makes sense. Removing Polygon, I don't know that makes sense. But I guess you're saying, well, we need institutional. We don't have institutional, so let's add something that's going in an institutional direction. And that's the only reason why I think it makes sense. For me, I just would have added the others. But clearly, Grayscale needed the money to add them. So this is how you do it. You do it because, Polygon was making money. So you can afford to sell a little bit to take that money and invest in those. Cool, not a problem. But that's actually big news. So I'm paying attention to that. Why? Because Polygon took a dip, and that made me buy some more. That's why. That's really why. Looking at XRP, XRP might actually get its own ETF by the end of this year. That's the rumor that's going around. So I'm going to be paying attention to see if I see actual paperwork being filed and everything else. For those of you that are actually paying attention to what's going on behind me, yes, it is snowing where I'm at. It's gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. Just white hills, and it's awesome. Something else that I'm paying attention to, BlackRock is probably going to get their, Bitcoin spot ETF. But getting that Bitcoin spot ETF, they're actually expecting to let loose about 3% of their workforce. And I'm trying to understand the correlation. And then I started saying, well, there is no correlation. They want to shave 3% of their workforce, period. That's just what they want to do. Makes sense, right? Every year, a lot of these big firms shave off underperformers, right? And it can be a varying percentage. The bottom X, okay, we're going to shave you guys off. Whatever. I get it. So I don't know that there's a direct correlation. I still have to do more research, but it does bring up the value of BlackRock if they get rid of, cut their expenses and add something like a Bitcoin spot ETF. It also means that they're not, I keep talking about how BlackRock is entering into an area that very much plays in favor of the broader retail space, and BlackRock does not necessarily play directly with the broader retail space. They play with a smaller, richer, wealthier subset, to be frank. So that's not me. I can't afford BlackRock. But Fidelity does. ARK Invest 21 shares do. Like a lot of those other firms that are vying for Bitcoin spot ETFs definitely geared themselves toward the broader retail space. So think about, I was having a conversation online with somebody who was like, well, you need to have your keys, you need to have control. And I said, wait a minute, that makes sense for us that understand how to secure our keys. For those of us that want the exposure, that want the exposure to altcoins, Bitcoin, it makes sense for them to be involved with an ETF, right? Because I can gain that exposure, add that exposure to my portfolio, and get all the benefits without me taking the risk of losing a substantial part of my money or my investment because I lost my keys. That is actually a very big deal. So what you want to pay attention to is all of that. So that's why I'm paying attention to everything that BlackRock does, because now BlackRock, let's suppose everybody gets, and it's ARK Invest 21 shares that should get the first Bitcoin spot ETF, because that's the date. That's the January 10th date, right? It's tied to them. But if they give it to everybody, BlackRock has to adjust their fees on on how much they can actually charge, rather. That's a big difference. Because you have to now compare your fee structure to Fidelity and all of these other funds and firms that are geared toward retail investors versus high-end investors, which means that you have to bring more of your assets under management to the space to make those returns. I'm sitting back and I'm going, each one of these firms has a good reason to be there, and so does BlackRock. So does Fidelity. So do all of them. Now, I might get involved in one of those ETFs just so I can have exposure to somebody else managing a percentage of my investments. I'm not sure. I'd have to understand the fees. But remember, I know how to actually, do this myself. So I'm going to have somebody else do it and pay them a fee to also do it. It depends on how they structure each one of these funds. By getting involved in this fund, does it open me up to other funds? So I want to pay attention to all that. That's why I'm saying I might get involved. I'm also looking at Injective that has been shooting up over the past while, along with everybody else. Injective is at $37 now. So you kind of have to pay attention to where they are now to where they're going to be later. They have a floor right now of about $35. They're at 37. The floor is 35. They could crash through that floor, or they can make some moves and jump towards 60 by the end of the year. I'm leaning toward the latter, but I'm definitely looking at it's a possibility that they could drop below the floor before they bust through 40, right, to continue doing, gentle ups. I think that the market as a whole is going to wind up going up in spurts, right? But the march will go up. I mean, think about where we are now and think about where Bitcoin is now and where it was as its high. Its high was like 69,000 plus, just below 70,000. We're at right now 44,145. I know my screen is messed up because I have a whole bunch of the stuff running off of one computer, and I don't have that running off a separate computer yet. I will soon. But think about where that is. You're only 25, you're at 24,000 and change off from your all-time high. It's like 1/3. So you still have room for growth. Any one of these spot Bitcoin ETFs take off, Bitcoin's going to take off. Easy, right? If we can maintain above 44, 471, that's my own level that I looked at. If we can maintain above that, 50 is an easy reach. 50 is an easy reach if we can maintain above that. It's been disappointment at not receiving something on Friday that stopped us from achieving certain goals. Kind of makes sense that we didn't get it Friday. We could have, but we didn't. Gary Gensler and his team are probably going to wait until Wednesday to say whether or not they're going to issue, because Wednesday is the due date for ARK Invest 21 shares, right? They partnered to create this, which would mean that they either give it to them, say delay them, or give it to everybody. We don't know yet. But until then, whether they give it or not, I'm going to constantly use dollar cost averaging to continually invest. Why? Because I've made more money investing in crypto than I have, except for my businesses. I've made more money investing in crypto than I have with leaving it in a traditional vehicle. It doesn't mean that I don't still leverage traditional vehicles, savings accounts, mutual funds, money markets. It doesn't mean that I don't still use those. It just means that what's there is there, and I might have a little bit of money trickling into those, but I'm doing more here because I'm taking more risk here, obviously. But I'm also, because I'm a technologist, I understand the technologies, I understand the usages, I understand the global reach that it gives me to operate in crypto versus operating in traditional, financials. I'm saying I'm willing to take X percentage of my income, of my investable income, to put into cryptos. And that's really what I want people to understand is the difference between, your income and your investable income. All your bills, everything else is taken care of. What's left, including entertainment over there, what's left is your investable income, right? And I'm saying I'm taking a nice percentage of my investable income and putting it into crypto. I put a certain amount into my business, but I also expect my businesses to make their own money, which adds to the overall pool of what I can put into crypto. And I tend to invest in things that have, specific use cases. I know a lot of people invest in meme coins. I do not. Right? My first meme coin, I had two meme coins that I got involved with, Doge and Shiba Inu. I dropped Doge. I made my money off of Doge and I dropped Doge because yes, it's a highly used coin. It's a big cap, not a problem with it. I just don't believe that it has any use cases as interesting to me as other coins. So look at Solana. I would rather transact on Solana than I would on Doge, right? The math works for me. The potential works for me. So I look over there for things like that. Shiba Inu, same case. Shiba Inu, Solana, they're doing things. Solana was never a meme coin. Shiba Inu was. And I use the term was, because I still hear people calling it a meme coin. And I'm trying to understand how you're calling it a meme coin when they've got a huge ecosystem. Look at what their ecosystem was even just a year ago and what it is now. Shibarium with Bone and Shiba Inu, just the games, just everything they have going on. I'm not sure that I could call it a meme anymore. How could you? What's your definition of, being not a meme? To me, a meme is not having a unique use case or having a viable use case. You don't have to be first to market, but you do have to have quality to market. Meme coins to me don't have that particular checkbox. That's why I pay attention to it. So that's it, right? Oh no, there is one more thing. I do want to touch on Michael Saylor. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you're watching, on a platform like YouTube, you can see a lot of fake commercials being run, a lot of fake ads. Those are deep fake AI generated commercials. And Michael Saylor came out the other day and he said, listen, my security team has been working full bore to take those down because it's not him. They're using their likeness and his voice to sell things. The same thing for Brad Armstrong. you'll see a lot of those commercials where they're promising, I saw one for Bill Gates. If it's too good to be true, believe it. It's untrue. Believe that it's untrue. Why? Believe that it's a lie because they're not giving away free Bitcoin. They're not giving away free XRP. They're not giving away free software in certain cases, right? Those people are not doing that. I saw one for Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett doesn't have Bitcoin to give away. So why would you believe that he would give away Bitcoin? He hates Bitcoin. Feel me? So pay attention to what's out there. Do your own research. If you're looking at something and it's fake, no, and it sounds like, don't do it. I had a conversation with somebody yesterday and finished it off this morning. And the subject was, you'd be silly to, have somebody else manage your crypto, from an ETF perspective. And I said to them, listen, a lot of people don't understand how to do it. And it's really tough to learn about crypto when there are so many fraudsters that are out there. There are so many fraudsters. I don't ask you to pay me for anything. If one of my companies performs a service for you, yes, we accept crypto, we accept credit cards, we accept PayPal, right? We accept crypto. We've been accepting crypto for payments at my web hosting company for a couple of years now. Before we started to Grow My Bag, we were already accepting crypto for payments. I want you to do your own research. I want you to pay attention to these things. I don't want you to get robbed by one of these fraudsters or scammers, right? Unless we're performing a service for you, selling you something of significance, a t-shirt. If you buy a t-shirt from me, you're going to get a t-shirt. How you paid for it is how you pay for it, but it is a service. You're going to go to a website, you're going to say, I want this, and you're going to get that. Right? But I'm not selling, here's an instructional video or an instructional series, and we're going to teach you how to buy and sell crypto. Nope. I might put together a class on what is crypto. I might put together a class on how to avoid scammers. But I'm not going to put together a class that's going to tell you how to make money in crypto. Nope. All those people over there on Telegram. I don't have a Telegram account. Not happening. Not happening. I saw too many scammers on TikTok. That's why we won't be back over there delivering this content on TikTok. It's too easy for people to steal videos and repost them as their own on TikTok. And TikTok is very slow to respond to DMCA requests. If I own the domain, if I have the email address, if I can prove that, I shouldn't even have to prove that I posted a video before they did. Because somebody comes to me and they say, well, prove to me that you posted that video. I have the raw footage. Does anybody else? Nope. Not at all. That's what we're all about. That's what I'm doing. And remember, I started this to teach my kids. My kids don't have the time to sit down and listen to Daddy ramble. That's why I started creating these videos. That's still why I do the videos. I had a conversation with my son last night. Now we were talking about something about business. I said, I just did a video about that. He goes, yeah, I know. I was like, okay, it's working. My kids are watching. That's why I do it. Anyway, this is Eddie J on video. I know this was a long day, but I wanted to share with you and thank you from the bottom of my heart. It's been 2 years, almost 2,000 subscribers. So many interactions. I've met so many really cool people that have taught me things. It's been great. Thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.